Hey, what's up guys? How are you guys doing today? It's Eli5 back at you guys with another video. But before we start today's video, I just have a quick question to ask you guys. The NBA might cancel the season as a whole. I hope it doesn't, and they're still talking about ways that they could resume the season, but if they have to, they're going to cancel it. So how do you guys feel about the whole idea of the NBA trying to develop a game of horse? Me personally, I wouldn't watch it. Maybe for other people it would be an interesting thing to watch, but I wouldn't want to watch horse games for the rest of the season. That's just my preference. But other than that, let us get into today's video. Within today's video, we are going to be discussing about one of the biggest conspiracy theories in all of NBA history. This theory is none other than the controversial Chris Paul trade to the Lakers that got denied by NBA Commissioner David Stern. This is an event that many of NBA fans still take note of as of today, and fans still scratch their heads from the sense of confusion thinking about this moment. Since there is literally nothing else to talk about in the NBA as of today, I figured that it would be best to go over this whole situation real quick. Many NBA fans, including myself, ask, why was this trade vetoed? If Kevin Durant was able to join a 73-9 win-loss Golden State Warriors team back in 2016, then why wasn't Chris Paul able to go to the Los Angeles Lakers with Kobe Bryant and company? Kevin Durant going to that Warriors squad with Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and all of the other good productive role players on that team literally made that team unstoppable. Ever since that team acquired Kevin Durant, we all know that they won back-to-back championships, beating LeBron and the Cleveland Cavaliers in our first 5 games in 2017, and then in a 4-game sweep the following year. That Warriors team had to have most of their star players, including Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson, to get injured in order for that Warriors team to finally be beatable. If Chris Paul went to that Lakers team in 2011, that Lakers team would not be unstoppable at all. So looking at the situation in that standpoint, people may not know the reason as to why the trade got vetoed. The main reason as to why David Stern vetoed this trade is because he wanted to prevent all-star players from forcing their teams to trade them to a better team. Usually if a star is in a bad position for success in the NBA, for example, if a star player is wasting his talents on a lottery team or something else similar to that, then they usually get dissatisfied and they lose the motivation that they once had to play for the team that they are playing for. That is what David Stern was trying to prevent with Chris Paul. We've seen this similar situation with Kyrie Irving back in 2017, where he got tired of so-called being the Robin behind LeBron James, and he forced a trade out of the Cleveland Cavaliers. This trade would have consisted of a 3-trade scenario involving the New Orleans Hornets, the Los Angeles Lakers, and the Houston Rockets. If this trade would have went through, the New Orleans Hornets would have received a variety amount of players for Chris Paul. With this trade, the New Orleans Hornets would have received Goran Dragic, Kevin Martin, Louis Scala, I don't know if I pronounced his last name correctly, and the New York's 2012 first-round pick, which became Royce White. The Houston Rockets would have received Pau Gasol and Lamar Odom from the Los Angeles Lakers, and the Los Angeles Lakers would have received Chris Paul, of course. The thing that I find so funny about this whole situation is the fact that the New Orleans Hornets managed to trade Chris Paul to the other Los Angeles team, which was the Los Angeles Clippers, as you guys may know. Once Chris Paul got traded to the Los Angeles Clippers, this was a new beginning to the Lob City Clippers team. Obviously, DeAndre Jordan and Blake Griffin was already on the Los Angeles Clippers squad before Chris Paul made himself present on the team, as they were drafted in years 2008 and 2009. The point that I am trying to make is that the whole Lob City thing for the Clippers didn't officially start until Chris Paul was traded to this team. This era for the team was honestly fun to watch, but sadly, they didn't win any championships or even get past the second round. It was sad the way that the team turned out, but that team is still a very iconic team that fans still think of till this day. This trade gave the Hornets a lot of players that still contribute on NBA teams as of today. Once the New Orleans Hornets traded away Chris Paul and 2 second-round picks to the Los Angeles Clippers, they received Eric Gordon, Chris Kaman, Al-Farouq Aminu, and Minnesota's 2012 first-round pick, which eventually became Austin Rivers. Now, do I think Chris Paul going to the Lakers teaming up with Kobe Bryant and company would have won the Los Angeles Lakers a couple more rings before Bryant's retirement, even more than the Boston Celtics 17 rings for the franchise? It's possible, but it's simply something we cannot tell. Honestly, Chris Paul teaming up with Kobe Bryant would have been something that would have been fun to watch. Chris Paul is, in my opinion, a player that you can rely on in a championship contending team. Other than his injuries, the way that he plays is able to get you wins during the clutch. Now, we all know Kobe Bryant is going to get a bucket regardless, but I feel like Chris Paul would have gave Kobe Bryant more opportunities to score with his insane playmaking and his insane IQ. He even has the ability to score in a decent rate. And honestly, Chris Paul doesn't need the ball in his hands at all times in order to be effective. So Kobe Bryant would have still been able to run the show, but having Paul as your point guard that you can rely on would have been nice for Kobe Bryant to have, in my opinion. And to be fair, Kobe Bryant has never played with any point guards as good as Chris Paul during his time in the NBA. The best point guard that he's ever played with was Steve Nash, but the time Bryant and Nash teamed up was the time that Nash was on his way out of the NBA and into retirement. He did play with D'Angelo Russell as well, but that was when D'Lo was still developing as a player. If Bryant played with the D'Lo that we know of as of today, then we can say that he would have been the best point guard that Bryant has ever played with. And to be honest, D'Lo can play both the shooting guard and point guard if he really wanted to. We've already seen what he did on the Brooklyn Nets and the Golden State Warriors. Now, obviously, Chris Paul going to the Lakers wouldn't have been no Lob City Clippers team, but honestly, Kobe and Paul on the same team would have been just as fun to watch. I honestly wish that this trade would have went through, but I understand David Stern's reasonings as to why he didn't let the trade go through. But other than that, that will be the end of today's video. Make sure you guys leave a like to this video and subscribe to the channel. I will greatly appreciate it. I'm out. Peace.